Hi everyone, this is Working Problem. This is just a follow-up to the last video about Kyle Rittenhouse, the verdict that he is now acquitted on all charges. He is declared not guilty on all charges. So I posted this just a few minutes ago, and I feel that it's important to address this. I think this is a pivotal moment for be it culture war or the political war in the United States and perhaps around the world, because United States is the most culturally significant influence on the rest of the world. And I feel that it is time that we can take on this momentum and push forward for to stop this perversion of the internet, the mediascape, and justice that is being pushed by big tech, mainstream media, and corrupt officials all around the United States. And I wrote this: the entire shebang that had tried to frame a Kyle Rittenhouse should be sued and taken responsibility for. From the prosecutor to the state to the media, everyone that had pushed the fake news, false portrayal of the incident, and even the police force that had not done anything to stop the violent riot, all should be and must be brought to justice. Now the tide should be turned. So no more fake news, no more riot, no more inaction police, no more manipulation of justice. So that the justices and the judges around across the entire United States, up and down the entire justice system, can be empowered to take on more difficult cases and be brave and courageous like this judge of the Rittenhouse case. And this is a heartfelt opinion that I have. I feel that the judges around the United States had been shying away from doing their job. The political pressure, the media pressure is too intense, which is why we did not even see a single case being heard about the presidential election, the fraud allegations. This kind of huge allegation should be heard so that we know what is the truth. Should the allegations of the election fraud be false, then the people need to know that. And we need to give everyone, especially very important cases and very important issues, a chance to hear to be heard, so that everyone can know the truth. Like very significant thing like the presidential election, Trump and his team and the supporters have been alleging a lot of bad things about the election. How it's run, all the cases. It should be heard. It should not be just thrown out. I know maybe some might be frivolous. It's like some of the things that was being mentioned. All the Italy gate and stuff like that. Yeah, some are rather ridiculous. But we want to see the evidence. If they have evidence, they can provide it. If they can't, then they should be be remanded for damages again, so that people do not make frivolous allegations, so that everything can be good, everyone can behave themselves. And because now what is the situation is that we have this kind of thing. The US media have been allowed to get away from putting out fake news, and very few people have the ability and the means to actually sue them, to get them to be accountable for their words and actions. And as a result, because of their fake news, we have this. A Brazil news outlet wrote the headline: "The young white man who killed two black men during anti-racist act collapses on trial." How would they know and come to such a conclusion? Because they relied on US media. who have purposely spread this racially inflammatory lie for 18 months. And as a result, for anyone that is reading the news and without context, not everyone is free to read so much, to find out more, to dig deeper. And not I have because I run my own business, I have a lot of time to read and to dig deeper. I realize that a lot of things are fake, or a lot of things are misrepresented, but not everyone is free. Not everyone have the time to actually spend hours a day reading news, and to to watch commentators on YouTube to understand the deeper connections between incidents, and to know the conspiracies, or to know the background information of every single or major incident. For like most people probably who read all about the Rittenhouse case probably have not even seen the video of him getting attacked and him defending himself. So which is why I put out this statement. I feel that it is time that the US justice system and the entire legal system should be empowered. All these fake news, all this misconduct, and the irresponsible act, even for the police force that have been standing far away from the riot, did not stop the rioters from committing the violent acts and burning things down. Then what are the police force supposed to do? That's their job, right? To stop violent criminals, to stop violent acts from happening. It took a young boy to defend his neighborhood, to defend the people that to protect the properties of the people that that he trusted and loved. Why this is significant? Because people all hope that they can behave like Kyle Rittenhouse, to pick up arms, to face off this violent mob, but they don't dare to. Most people are aware that how the media is portraying situations, and it's always very left-leaning. And to defend yourself, to pick up rifles or weapons, is always being portrayed as they are the villains. Unfortunately, the police are not there to stop the rioters, and the people are now caught in the conundrum of whether to protect themselves, the property, their livelihood, or risk getting demonized. So that's why this case is so significant. We need to have more Kyle Rittenhouses to be able to dare to face off the rioters. The best is that people can group up and push the rioters back. Although it's not very ideal, because that risks a kind of like a mafia-like shooting war should the rioters get armed themselves, which is why the police force have to be accounted for as well. They need to do their job and stop the rioters immediately, as soon as it happens. The moment they turn violent, the moment they start burning things, the police should hit the rioting people hard, to disperse the protest and stop things immediately. People can have the right to protest, not in Singapore, but in the United States they have the right to protest. Then people should behave, and if anything turn violent, the peaceful protesters should immediately disperse. Do not allow these violent criminals to hijack any of the protests or any of the movement or campaigns, even like Black Lives Matter, or so many of the Antifa activists or rioters went into BLM and they tarnished the entire movement. The Black Lives Matter movement is really have a terrible name now. Terrible. The entire movement to fight for the visibility or on the injustice that's on the minority or the black people or the Afro-Americans or the African descendants is all heavily damaged. People are booing the kneeling down in the all around the world. for especially in Europe, like in the English Premier League, when they kneel down, there are people who boo because people see the hypocrisy, they see the nonsensical nature of the Black Lives Matter movement. The entire movement, the entire campaign to reduce racism or to stop racism have been damaged and sabotaged because of all these violent protesters. I I I started off supporting BLM, but within days I stopped because of the violence and the rioting. And I believe this should be the way how we conduct ourselves. The moment even of the best intention turn bad, turn violent, become a crime, become people that allow people to do bad things, we should immediately stop and not energize this corruption of a good message anymore. It doesn't matter how good is your message. The moment is hijacked, we should stop and call this criminals and hypocrites out immediately, and so that the police and the justice system can narrow them down and bring them to justice. What happened now is that all these positive protests and movement have been hijacked, and it is no longer tenable to support such movement, and you allow this thing to fester. This is what happened. Kyle Rittenhouse case is what happened. People use the name of good campaigns, like Black Lives Matter used to be a really good awareness campaign. It turned out to be used as a cover for politically charged rioting. And Kyle Rittenhouse there defending himself because the police did not dare to interfere with the riot. Or it could be that they are ordered by the state or the politician or whoever it is in the background to not interfere. The same thing happened in Charlottesville. The two sides, the opposing sides, the Antifa and the conservative, the ultra conservative or nationalists, these two sides should have never met. The police should be between them to ensure that the two protest groups should not meet each other. But why did they do? Why did they happen to clash and have all these iconic photos of the white supremacists clashing with Antifa? It's because the police did not interfere. The police did not do their job. Someone gave the order for them to have inaction. This is a manipulation of justice. This is a manipulation of law. And this should not be continued anymore. I'm not American. But if you have been following me, I'm not American. But what happens in the United States affects the entire world. And we are victims to the politics in the United States. Because of the politics and culture war in the United States, the censorship affects not just American, but the entire world. I cannot even say, certain words on Facebook or on Twitter without getting banned. And I'm not American. There's no relevant context of the violation in my part of the world. There's none. All the racist terminologies does not apply in my country or in my region. It means nothing to us. However, the censorship that's being applied and pressured within the United States is affecting us. People that's outside America. It forces people like me, who is more politically aware, to have to take notice of what's happening in the United States. Because if the corruption continues in the United States, and given how powerful the United States are, how powerful the media are, how powerful the big tech are, the kind of authoritarianism, the kind of monopoly, the kind of uh, abuse of power will not just be affecting the United States alone. It will be applied and forced upon the rest of the world. The entire world will be enslaved if United States do, the citizens of United States do not stand up against tyranny. We are at the mercy. We cannot vote. We cannot vote for people in the US election in the coming midterms next year to get the right people to come to protect the rights of the people that's outside of the United States. We can't. We depend on you, Americans, to do the right thing. Kyle Rittenhouse have set a precedent for, and no to any highlights and how just that justice is, that judge is. He is really brave. He's really courageous. He weathered all the negative media or the fake news, the pressure, just like MSNBC. They had someone to follow the jury to find out where they stay so that they can take vengeance against any verdict, or to put pressure on this jury to come up with a negative verdict. They are putting this kind of pressure to threaten the life of the jury so that they can get another step to push to take away your rights, with Kyle Rittenhouse being the first to be slaughtered at the stake. So I hope this can be the beginning of the end for all this tyranny, be it big tech or mainstream media fake news. Things are getting really bad. There is a civil war happening. We cannot see it, but it's actually happening. John O'Keefe was raided by the FBI on a false charge, and apparently there is words that John O'Keefe's organization, Project Veritas, was actually trying to figure out what is the legal limitations for him to whether to wiretap FBI officers or FBI agencies, because they are maybe they are suspecting something, they want to investigate something, and the FBI caught wind of it, and they took a false charge to try to take any information that they can of John O'Keefe and Project Veritas, or to discover what have they found out. This is a corruption of justice, and I think this is something that you as an American should be concerned about, because if you are not concerned, if the FBI go rogue, again, the people outside of the United States will pay for your ignorance. We need to empower the judges and the justice system to do their job. We should protect them from the harassment of the media, harassment of activists, so that they can be courageous and brave enough to take up all these difficult cases, so that they can deliver justice just like what this judge have done for Kyle Rittenhouse, so that your rights will be protected. I think we are at a crossroad. We are at this junction in the history of the United States where we are at this pinnacle, this age. Whether you fall left or fall right, it will determine the future of America, and it is the time to fight back. The red wave, the red political wave seems to be going. There's a lot of very positive election results going towards the Republicans. Even someone that had not even campaigned at all managed to win against the establishment Democrat. I think this is a sign because Democrats had never delivered on their promises. They don't. They just making worse. And this is a progressive kind of shit that they always do. So this is not my country. I shouldn't interfere, but it's affecting me. That's why I'm talking about it. I tell you, I can share about this. In Singapore, this leftism, progressive poison has arrived in Singapore as well. We are a very conservative society. We are mostly moderate right, but this left wing, bullshit has come to our shores, and I will be trying to fight it within my means through my channels, and I see what I can do about it. But if the situation in the United States continue to worsen and deteriorate, then it will make it much harder for me to fight back against all these lying and manipulations that the left tends to use, because I might be censored. I was censored by YouTube trying to investigate certain conspiracies, and I'm investigating. I'm not even propagating the conspiracy, and I can't even do that. And this is really disturbing. And I'm not American, as I said. So let's do this thing together. I believe that we normal, sane, logical people should band together, and push back. I'm so worried that I'm actually, I'm not only on YouTube and Twitter. I'm on Parler. I'm on Gap. I'm on Getter, and basically almost every social media that I can find and I'm posting to people, to literally no followers and subscribers, because I'm so concerned about my right to speak out. So if YouTube bans me, my videos are on Rumble. It's on what's the other one? BitChute. I post a bit on what's the other media? I forgot. I post. Yeah, see, I can have the whole list here. I post on Brighteon as well. So this is what I tried to do, and but however, most of the normal people is on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and on Instagram. So I have to post on this kind of places. So yeah, I shall stop the ranting. I think I put my point across, and I hope we can work together, you and me. Let's see what we can do to change this world for the better, for us, for our kids, for our family and friends, and for our countries. Be it you are American or you're not an American, I think we are all global citizens, and there are terrible things that's happening, and I'll probably talk more about it in future videos. Why, despite being global citizens, we cannot be under one economy, we cannot be under one system, and because how it will lead us to more wider economic injustice and wealth gap, economic gap. That's how it will be. I'll talk about it in future videos. I need to think about how to organize this information. It's rather heavy. So, but for a start, remember that whatever we do can influence, no matter how small and how nobody we are. Like, I'm a nobody. Nobody know who I am, and nobody really cares who I am, or probably cares what I say. That's why we need to band together to make things happen, because the future will be bleak. People like Facebook, they announced Meta, but what was the hidden message? The hidden message is that he want to control everything. And all this centralization is dangerous. It's convenient, but it's very dangerous for our individual rights. So we need to all work together, and let's work together and push back, empower the justice system. And I hope to see you next time. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.